Carol.
Hi.
How's it going,
Hi,
bud?
Chris. Fine, thanks. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Yeah, we're here at Intergeo in Essen with the whole booth, with part of the team. I have a couple of questions for you
Please,
about usual stuff. So according laser scanning and so on. So the first question to you is why actually people, because I see a lot of people coming to the booth actually for a couple of days, and that's the first question that I got in my mind. Why do people use PointCab? why they ask about this software? Why they come for this?
I think there's multiple answers on that one.
Yeah.
But from my experience, what I've seen over the years, it's the simplicity of use. Workflow, it's not so much about the data sheet in comparison to other softwares that you find in the market. It's more the workflow that people enjoy. I think the background that we have a PhD surveyor that actually developed the software made it for professionals, but the workflow, the way you use it yourself.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to remember. And we have a lot of architects nowadays that also use it, and they might use PointCab every 2-3 months. If you would have to remember every time the in-depth of your big manufacturing software, for instance, that can be difficult, something you don't need with PointCab.
Yeah, that's true.
And compression. I think compression is a very important one with data size nowadays. That also is, I think, one of the factors where people like to have the very light data that comes out of the order photo approach we have.
I think that's really unique about the software itself, because most of the software that you meet on the market, most solutions, they're strictly working with 3D, and you always, when you think about point cloud, it's like, it's a 3D object, it's a 3D picture, like mesh of points and so on and so forth. But I found this approach kind of messy, and for some people not quite, let's say, open and understandable.
Right.
And when I opened PointCab for the first time, it was like, okay, I'm looking at pictures which I understand, and then I can acquire any picture in no time that I want, actually. And so my clients are sort of people that I'm working with, collaborating on different kind of projects. We in BIMfaktoria, we specialize in heritage, as you know, but
Yes.
I know many different people also can use PointCab, and they use PointCab in infrastructure and so on.
It's various verticals. I mean, I think it all started out with surveyors.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the main area. It moved over to others in architecture, construction companies. I mean, the typical AEC area, actually.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes you have. I always say the freak accident of verticals that you never thought of before. Tank builders, for instance, we've had stuff like that. People measuring volumes of large oil tanks.
That's
in
great.
industry. I probably have to rack my brain here to think about all the different options and things I've seen over the years, but there's been quite many different ways of usage, and sometimes it's not only the data captures that have the software as a tool, it is sometimes also people that don't even own a scanner that actually use the software, and they have somebody giving them the point
The
cloud
data
ready, also registered. So that wouldn't be a PointCab Pro customer, that would be a PointCab Origins regular software customer, which is, by the way, the majority in PointCab. I think there's a split of like 25-75 between
Origins and Origins Pro.
Origins Pro, some years it's 30, some years it's 30. I think one year was 35, but usually it's like 25 to 30 in the Pro area, and all the rest is in the regular Origins area, which clearly shows the customer base uses this as one of many tools doing one specific thing, or even checking, as I think you told me this too, that you sometimes double check scans that you've made from other software, and just to be sure that the documentation is correct.
It's kind of crazy, especially when you're working with outsourced company, for example, that when you get the data and you check the data that you got, and it's like not so quite as it should be, like some misalignments, you clearly can see like positions that are not aligned, and the lines itself of, for example, facades of buildings, right?
Yeah.
which is kind of annoying because that's a waste of time, waste of money for the outcome, for the output client, the end user, and it could be easily omitted if proper software would be in charge. I also heard you guys are working on something new, something unique.
Unique's probably the wrong word. I think there's a lot of people and companies out there here in the Intergeo, you see it too, that are working that approach. We introduced PointCab Nebula here at Intergeo 2022. For all the customers that know PointCab, it's basically PointCab share in the web. So for people, I usually explain it to people where I say, do you know what Dropbox is? And I think most people that work with computers have seen Dropbox before.
Yeah.
And it's basically Dropbox is that we use Nextcloud.
Yeah.
And we basically built a plugin for Nextcloud to enable the Nextcloud. A lot of people already work with Nextcloud to process the data. And if you're a customer, this first version that we're showing here, if you're a PointCab customer, you can then actually virtualize your data, put it up into the cloud,
Cool.
or on your server if you have a self-hosted system, and share your data with your customer. You have a nice 3D portrait viewer, which people like a lot because you can visualize very nicely. Everything works in a web browser.
So it's basically, because there's another product, it's PointCab Share. So it's basically you moved it in a bit to the cloud, and you can use it whenever you want.
Well, the thing is, Share was free.
Yes.
However, Share had the disadvantage of you had no installer. You could just easily get it for yourself, but where's the data?
That's right.
So you still had that obstacle.
You need to move the data.
You still had an obstacle or bottleneck to where do you get the data? You have to give it to somebody. That data needs to be loaded. And all of that. So in that case, you can just upload the data. It's available immediately. People can look at it. You don't have to send a stick with data to somebody, and you can choose which parts you want to look at, which parts you want to download and use. So we see clear advantages of file management and data management for companies.
I think this is what many clients, also Polish clients, were asking about, to have a possibility to move their projects for a client instantly, so they have access. So they on a call or something, you don't share screen, you just look at the same data set basically.
Pretty much.
That sounds really good. We've been working together for I think quite a long time right now.
It's a lot of time, that's true. Yeah.
That's true, right? So we started as BIMfaktoria translating PointCab for Polish users, and later we became a master value-added reseller in Poland. So what would be your message on that?
That is such a long term. Master value-added reseller.
I had to read it.
Yeah, a lot of times I've been asked before, people said like, we hear the Americans use that, VAR and Master VAR, what is that? And you always say, you have a reseller, and in any sense, a reseller in Amazon or anywhere would be literally somebody that offers a available product from any manufacturer and makes it available to anybody in the world.
Yes.
And somebody might just fall and think, oh, that's the product, I want to buy it. That would be a reseller. Yeah. So a value-added reseller would be an active reseller that is actively promoting, doing marketing, supporting the product, interacts with the manufacturer, and basically is much more interlinked with the manufacturer and also more active in the distribution of the product. Because it's a technical, explanatory product here. Yeah. And a master value-added reseller is basically, I think, a terminology that we sort of came up with as we have countries where we want to have one reseller that takes charge for all other sub-resellers within the country due to language barrier, due to knowledge of the software, due to the long year background we have, in that case, we did choose you, and we're very happy we did that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so last question. What's the message to Polish people, Polish users of laser scanning community and also PointCab users?
Well, first of all, I hope they're going to test Nebula and find out how that works for them. I know there's still a lot of scare about things that you upload and where is my data going to go. We have the highest level of data security with the new product we're launching, and as everything we launch, it's going to be solid.
So basically it will work for people who also mostly work on BIM contracts. That's really good when you have by investor, the investor gives you an AER document and then you need to answer with the state of security of your data, right, for the project. So that sounds really great for all of the people that are working with BIM mostly, and also for CAD users who wants to share their data in a secure way.
Talking about CAD users would be the one more thing. We also introduced an ArchiCAD plugin, our own ArchiCAD plugin.
Yeah.
We used to work a cooperation, as you know, with another company. Since we now have multiple plugins for BricsCAD, Revit, AutoCAD, ZWCAD, now finally ArchiCAD out of PointCab's house. Yeah, so
as an active user, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, so for the Polish people, I would say please go ahead, check that out. Call this man and be sure.
We will help you.
Call this man and be sure that he shows you the newest products and make sure you understand all of it. And for resellers, potential resellers, of course, I also wish you luck with acquiring those in the next year.
Thank you very much.
And other than that, I can say dziękuję.
Dziękuję. Thank you, Chris.
Have a great day. Bye-bye. Good to see you again. Bye-bye.
To był Chrisem McAuliffe, CEO firmy PointCab GmbH.